Okay, so you should have your graphing calculator in front of you. And the first thing we want to do is we want to clear the memory. So second plus 712, second plus 722. Your calculator is cleared. So in order to use this application on your calculator, let's see if I can raise that a little. The system that you're going to put in your calculator must be in standard form. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. The top equation has to have x first, y first, constant term on the right, and also the second equation has to be in that form. If you flip-flop and you have the y first and the x second, this will not work. Okay? Will not work. That's why we practice making sure you have your systems in standard form. So here is our system. It is in standard form. You're going to press the purple apps button. Purple apps is right below mode 1, 2. Down here is apps. Let me move this to the side. Next, there's a glare there. It says arrow down to number 9. Hopefully your calculator has this. If it doesn't, you'll have to get a different calculator. Someone has taken that off your calculator. You're going to press number 9. Hit enter. So 9, polynomial equation solver. On this screen, it says press any button to continue. So you can press whatever you want. I'm going to hit enter. On your paper, it says number 2. You need the simultaneous equation solver. There are 6 options. We're going to press 2. On the next screen, you don't want to mess with any of these buttons. I'm going to slide this over for a second. We've talked about before, in your directions it says press next. But this is not a touch screen. So you can't press the screen. You always, if these are buttons down here, you use the gray buttons in the graphing area. So we don't want main, we don't want help, we want next, and that is the button graph. So we press graph, and then you have to notice that you have this screen. I'll pull it over here. And this screen coincides with your system, okay? And you want to type the coefficients of your top row. It says here, on the top row, type the coefficients of x, which is 3, -5, don't put a minus sign, -5, and then on the far right, we're going to put 11. So we're going to type 3, enter. Make sure you always hit enter. -5, do not push -5, enter. 11, enter. On the bottom row, it's the same concept. On the bottom row, when you have an x, you have to realize the coefficient is 1. The coefficient of 5y, that is 5. And then on the right is a -3. Do not push -3. So 1, enter. 5, enter. -3. Now some of you are going to stop here at -3 and not hit enter. And if you notice up here it says 0. You want to always hit enter to make sure it's up in your screen in this matrix. It says system matrix. So according to the directions, finally you're going to press solve. So if you look again, this is the main menu. Mode we're never going to mess with. This CLR represents clear. Load you're never going to mess with. And here is solve. But remember, it's not a touch screen, so you're going to hit the button right below it. Solve. X1 represents X. X2 represents Y. So your ordered pair will now be 2, -1, and you will write that down. Now, once you're done with the first problem, if you want to go back to the program, System, is what you were solving. So you would press the button below System, which is Zoom. You're back to your system, the big one, but we don't want that one anymore. We want to get rid of this system for our next problem. So Clear is what you would press next. And if you see, all these turn back into zeros. But let's say you didn't solve for your system correctly yet and you want to get out of here. We don't want to just push random buttons. You want to press Main. And what do we want to do? We want to quit. Number 6. So I just went through the buttons of the directions of how to solve a system. If you look at the bottom, why did I give you this sheet? This is how you find slope and slope-intercept form given 2 points. So I put it on here for you again. Stat is how we use 2 points to find slope and slope-intercept form. And we've also learned how to find the system when graphing. And those are those directions if you ever forget it. So now you have 3 main things that you know that graphing calculator can help you find. And I will post this in Schoology also so you know how to do it. So from this point on, you can always use this application on your graphing calculator if you remember how to do it. You never have to solve a system again.